Once upon a time, in a small peaceful village surrounded by vast open fields, mountains and the warm glow of the sun, a boy named Tunde was born. His family was humble, but filled with love and faith. Tunde's father was a simple farmer, and his mother worked tirelessly at home to keep their small house cozy and warm. They didn't have much, but they always had each other, and to them, that was enough. As Tunde grew, his parents noticed there was something truly special about him. Even as a toddler, he was curious about everything. When he found sticks and stones outside, he would use them to make patterns in the dirt, creating little designs that made the villagers smile. At 6 years old, he began drawing with charcoal from the kitchen fire using bits of paper his mother saved for him. His drawings looked so real that it was as if he could capture the spirit of his subjects with his young hands. When Tunde turned 10, his grandfather, an old shoemaker with skill and wisdom, came to live with them. His grandfather was a quiet, wise man who spent most of his days working on leather, stitching shoes by hand, and humming songs from his youth. One day, Tunde watched his grandfather at work, fascinated by how his hands moved gracefully, stitching each piece with care. Seeing Tunde's wide-eyed interest, his grandfather said, "Come here, son. Let me teach you the craft of a good shoe." From that day on, Tunde would spend hours sitting by his grandfather's side, learning how to shape, cut, and stitch leather into beautiful shoes. His grandfather would say, "A shoe must carry a person's journey. It must be strong but also gentle on their feet." Tunde listened, absorbing each word like it was a secret spell, and over time, he became skilled in shoemaking. Soon, Tunde could create shoes so fine they fit like they were made by magic. Years passed, and Tunde's talents only grew. Not only could he draw lifelike images, but he had also taught himself to carve wood into intricate designs. He could transform a simple block of wood into a majestic eagle, a wise old man, or a delicate flower, each figure so detailed that people often gasped when they saw his work. He also had a unique fashion sense, and with whatever scraps of cloth he could find, he would stitch them into beautiful garments that looked like they were meant for the finest occasions. But the villagers didn't quite understand Tunde's gifts. Many people thought his talents were odd or wasteful. They saw Tunde as a young man with too many interests and not enough focus. "Why don't you settle on one thing?" they'd say with a sigh. "You can't be good at everything. It's a waste of time." Others laughed at him, saying, "What's the use of making fancy shoes or clothes here? We're simple folk, stick to farming or fishing like the rest of us." Tunde tried to ignore the criticism, but it hurt him deeply. He worked on his art and his craft with everything he had, but there was a heavy weight on his heart, as though a shadow was holding him back. He barely earned enough to survive, and though he sometimes felt like giving up, his parents' words gave him hope. "Tunde, you have a gift," they would say. "God has a plan for you. Don't let others dim your light. Keep going." So Tunde pressed on, creating beautiful things day after day. Even if the villagers didn't understand, he poured his heart into his work. He practiced tirelessly, honing his skills in the quiet of the night while the world slept. His hands became more skilled, his designs more refined, his art more lifelike. One morning, Tunde heard exciting news. There was to be an art fair in a nearby town, and for the first time, a competition was open to young artists. The prize was a scholarship and a chance to have the winner's work displayed in a gallery, a place Tunde had only dreamed about. His heart pounded with excitement. Could this be his chance? For weeks he worked day and night, gathering his best drawings, carving exquisite pieces from wood, and creating a collection of shoes and clothes that showed his finest skills. He poured every bit of his soul into each piece, hoping to finally show the world what he could do. The day of the fair arrived, and Tunde's hands trembled as he set up his display. All around him were other young artists with impressive works, and he couldn't help but feel a bit nervous. The judges walked through the fair, inspecting each piece with keen eyes, and when they reached Tunde's table, they paused. The lead judge, an older man with a sharp eye and a warm smile, examined Tunde's work closely. The judge was captivated by the beauty of his drawings, the detail in his carvings, and the unique design of his shoes and clothes. "Who taught you to do all of this?" he asked in amazement. Tunde's voice shook as he replied, "My grandfather taught me to make shoes, and the rest, I learned myself." The judge smiled and nodded, clearly impressed. As the crowd gathered, people whispered and pointed, marveling at the incredible talent displayed before them. When the time came to announce the winner, Tunde's heart raced. The judge stepped forward and announced, "The first prize goes to Tunde for his remarkable talent and dedication to his craft." The crowd erupted in applause, and Tunde felt a warmth spread through his chest. Tears of joy filled his eyes. He had finally done it. He had shown the world his gifts, and they had been recognized. From that day on, Tunde's life changed. The prize came with not only a scholarship, but also new opportunities. People started noticing him, commissioning his work, and inviting him to exhibit his creations. Soon, he was invited to show his work at galleries and fashion shows in different towns, and before long, his talent gained international attention. Tunde was even invited to showcase his creations abroad, where he was celebrated as an artist and a fashion designer like no other. Through determination, Tunde transformed his humble beginnings into a legacy of beauty and inspiration. He created his own brand, combining art, shoemaking, and fashion, and his designs became known worldwide. Yet, Tunde never forgot his roots. He would visit his family and his village, always grateful for the support of his parents and his grandfather's wisdom. The lesson. Tunde's story reminds us that greatness often starts in humble places, and that the true value of a gift is not always recognized right away. People may doubt, dismiss, or misunderstand your talents, but if you hold on to your dreams, work hard, and believe in yourself, you will find your moment to shine. Let Tunde's journey inspire you to trust in the purpose God has given you, even when the road is rough and lonely. Never let others define your limits or tell you what you're capable of. True strength lies in perseverance, faith, and the courage to follow your heart. Greatness may not come instantly, but when it does, it shines bright enough for the world to see. Please like and subscribe for more inspiring stories.